It's live, pal. You're watching Chillmonger, best YouTuber on the planet. We're being joined by
This guy. You know who it is, man. Bluminati Blues House. You know who it is. Blurred AF. You know
Took
what's
long
up.
enough. Yeah, thank you. All right, yeah, say your name and we're good. So we're
You
here
know
to
what's
talk
up.
about the Beau DeMayo tweet. Not this one. Not this tweet over here where Beau DeMayo says, this happens a lot more than you think. Often it's done more subtly. For example, X-Men 97's crew and I fought to have Storm's skin tone darker and more accurate to her heritage versus the OG show. Marvel noted that if we're being so accurate about her skin color, then Storm shouldn't have white hair either. These sort of microaggressive notes are designed to domino backwards to kill the initial idea, as Marvel knows we're not changing Storm's hair color. Then came the usual racist, well, if Storm's too dark, we won't be able to see her in nighttime or dark scenes. We went ahead and did it anyway. Turns out there's a thing in animation called lighting. That Twitter comment from a guy named Beau DeMayo.
Baby.
Beau DeMayo.
DeMayo.
It gives off pro-black, very, very aware. I'm trying to hold it down. The colorism thing is an issue. The Halle Berry casting was incorrect. It's that awareness or wokeness. I kind of hate that I said wokeness because maybe someone's watching this video doesn't know what the word means. But
Right. That's the proper term for it.
yeah, I used the
You used
proper
it the
word
right
today.
way.
But that would make you think that this is someone who's got that in his forefront, and I wasn't so pleased with Storm's performance, or with Sunspot didn't have his dad, or Bishop's lack of relevance compared to some of the other characters. But to know that he's got that thought and he's doing those tweets, that's one thing. It's something.
Right.
That's not the tweet we're here for. You saw the title of this video. This is about X-Men 97. And a YouTuber named SSJ K. Sanctum says, can you tell us why Black Panther was T'Chaka and not T'Challa? And the tweet we're here for, T'Chaka is the father of T'Challa. And K. says, I know that. Beau DeMayo responded. Before we get to that, we got to rewind.
Take us back.
A YouTuber named Planet Fanatics back in May, he reached out. He said, will we be seeing T'Challa? And Beau DeMayo kind of was like, hush, hush, didn't really give a nice answer. When the finale came out, there was a cameo scene of T'Challa in X-Men 97. Sorry, it wasn't T'Challa. It was another Black Panther. They retconned it, and they made it so that... And you watched the Fantastic Four cartoon, right? You know
Yep.
T'Challa is the present Black Panther. Just like
Mm.
Daredevil is here and Cloak and Dagger are here. Just like the Hulk and I think Morph turned into Mr. Fantastic. And we saw all of these characters who are known to be the present Marvel iterations. Iron Man and Captain America's out of ice, but the Black Panther isn't T'Challa. Total BS, yeah?
Yeah. Total BS. And not only that, the original creator of the X-Men,
Larry Houston.
yep, he came out and said when he put T'Challa in that X-Men episode, which they couldn't call him T'Challa, but he was like, that was T'Challa. They called him,
Now,
I think they called him like Panther Mutant or something like that. If you watch the with the subtitles and everything, it says like Panther Mutant. But he was like, that's T'Challa. And he said I did that for that, and I did that in the Fantastic Four cartoon as well. That's T'Challa.
and that's the thing. You got to sneak in T'Challa into these projects because he's just
Mhm.
too much representation. It makes them them meaning people of colorless. It makes them nervous and uneasy. And then Larry Houston got him in there.
Yep.
Planet Fanatics tweets, "Hey, why was that T'Chaka on that show? Why wasn't it T'Challa?" And Beau DeMayo responded to that tweet with saying, "I can't speak to that decision." This was a time when Beau DeMayo was under a separations agreement where there was things he was going to say and things he was not going to say, and he was withholding himself. He's not there anymore. Now, that separations agreement, according to Beau, he told, and me and Blue have argued this for hours. According to Beau, he got a letter in the mail saying, you violated the separations agreement and it's over. That happened in June, right? So they kind of, they reaped the benefits of it because during the show, as it was being airing, he was withholding a little something. So the separation agreement did work for them, but they didn't need it anymore. And now he's not even being credited for season 2. and who wasn't even allowed to be at the Emmys. He didn't even get an invitation, and I don't care if he was fired or not. This could have been a one season show. This man deserved to be at the Emmys. Blue.
Look, man, I said what I had to say about him and the Emmys, man, and y'all didn't win, so it don't even matter. At the end of the day, it don't matter. Y'all didn't win. But I mean, if you want to if he could, I said what I had to say about the Emmys, man. I'm good on that.
Said he can't speak on the decision. Now, you talked about Larry Houston, but he's not the one that matters. Who care about no Larry Houston? It's about Jake
Larry.
Castorino. Jake, oh man, this is from Phase Zero. Let's take it back in time. This was aired 4 months ago on the 21st of May.
Also, if that's the case, what's the conversation? T'Chaka?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, wait a second. And the other thing, he was T'Challa. So if you could talk about those two things.
Yeah, sure. I will elaborate on as much of it as I can.
Okay.
Some of the Black Panther of it all are definitely closed doors conversations that I wasn't privy to. That was definitely in Beau and the executives' realm.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, there's always multiple timelines, right? There's always
absolutely
there's always a one-off. This is exactly how I like it, except for that one thing. Okay, cool, but it's still the thing. So who's to say what timeline is the right timeline, proper timeline? I mean, y'all aren't even ready for how we're gonna you up in season 2.
Oh no.
We tease it at the end of 10. It's like we're gonna have to elaborate on that.
Yeah, it's like, can't just leave that there.
Yeah. So and for at least for myself and what we this is set in the 90s. If T'Challa is the natural successor and is more of.
By the way, he already answered the question and he's just rambling, but he told us I didn't have anything to do with it, closed door meetings, and now he's trying to explain it.
That's all he should have said. He should have just said.
Left it at that. Because the longer he goes,
the more it sounds stupid.
Yep.
Our era now, he would have still been a kid at that time. And while it is sort of retconny, based on what 90s episode series you watch, right? Whether it was Fantastic Four, I believe it was Fantastic Four that even had T'Challa.
Yeah, it's true.
And that was before, like, that was, and just see, nerd. Remember if T'Challa was like,
and I've said this before, that time he go, look at me, I'm a nerd. Nah, Jake Castorino, we fucking love that. Yes, that you remember he was in the Fantastic Four on episode 8, minute 12. I love that you would know that stuff. So we're not laughing at you for honoring the lore and sticking true to it and continuing it. Keep going, Jake, because you're gonna say something about a mandate.
Like assassinated, or if like there was a back in time thing, but I remember they did T'Challa. But that's the best thing about our sandbox and multiple universes and things. For us, it just felt right. Like, I don't know what the mandates, and I can't speak to whatever the closed door conversations were. But as a storyteller, I'm like, oh, this is not the aughts. This is mid to late 90s. Like, I like the idea that we're seeing the legacy characters. Just for myself as a creative, it's reminding the audiences, oh, this is an earlier time. It's just one of those other things that we could just help remind the audiences, we're not now, we are then. Why did they do this? Because we didn't know about that then, or we couldn't do that then. And
thank you for your answers there, Jake.
Let me show you how stupid that sounds. So basically, he's saying, oh, that was the 90s, not right now. And then he brought up the legacy characters. So Spider-Man, right? All of these legacy characters that showed up in that, they were all the correct age. But T'Challa would be a kid during that time? It don't make sense. You just rambling, going on, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're just trying to show that it's earlier. We know it's fucking, the name of the show is X-Men 97, bro. We know it. You know what I'm saying? Was T'Challa the Black Panther doing 1997? Yes, he was. It's based on the year 1997. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? Black Panther been to T'Challa. T'Challa's been Black Panther since 1960s. What are we talking about?
What? You have the same reaction that Beau DeMayo had, because if I show the screen, you're gonna see his response. Sorry, wrong tweet. That would be the one right there. I got just so many pages open, but I'll read them in order. First, he goes, I don't know why Marvel has certain directors trying to spin and lie about this, but we produced X-Men 97, season 1, in early 2021. The loss of Chadwick Boseman, mind you, August 28th, 2020. The loss of Boseman weighed heavily on the studio. Does that stick out to you? He didn't say on me, on us, on
You said the studio.
the studio, right? On the
On Kevin.
studio. Yeah.
But see, I think that's some bullshit too. I think he lying. I think dude is a big fat liar, man. I think Bo is a big fat liar.
I think,
but I'm gonna let you finish.
I do believe that the death of Chadwick Boseman had everything to do with T'Challa's erasure throughout all of these forms of media, and this is just talk and chatter trying to justify.
Yeah. No, I do think that. I think that the death of, like you said, them. But that was stated. That's the mandate. Like what he said, the closed door mandates. I wasn't part of the mandates. I don't know what's going on with me. But guess who was? Bo. You were there. You know what the fuck is going on. So when the question was first asked, and I'm sorry to be cussing on your stream. I'm sorry, man. When the question was asked previously, and you said, "Oh, I don't know," or "That's above me." Yes, the fuck. And I know. Maybe it was the NDA. Maybe it wasn't. But that was even you lying to your fans here, and then you just lying for no fucking reason. Like, tell the truth. If you're here to tell the truth because the mandate is up and it's fuck Marvel now, then fucking tell the truth. It's fuck Marvel. They don't want you to have Black Panther. They don't want you to have T'Challa as Black Panther.
And I think they reasoned with you, and they probably gave you a very convincing video package and said, "No, we can't do T'Challa because of Chadwick Boseman," and I'm sure that's what happened. But the stupid thing is that this character isn't Chadwick Boseman at all. 2021 was not too soon, as we'll see from other examples. And what with Jay Castorino, I wasn't privy to the closed door meetings. That actually doesn't even mean a closed door meeting happened, as Beau DeMayo says that these are all lies. But there may have not have been a closed door meeting at all. We're just going off of what Jake said, and Beau DeMayo is shooting down what Jake said. It says we produced it in 21. The loss of Boseman heavily on the studio, as well as on me as a black man.
Yeah, as a black man. It weighed heavily. But you got rid of all the other black people in the show. Storm disappeared. Bishop disappeared. Sunspot ain't even black in the show. He's, I don't know, Octoroon.
Darius yesterday did an hour on his live stream about selective blackness. And I'm not going to, but I'll redirect you towards Darius if you guys want to hear what he had to say and hear a more passionate kind of guy on this topic.
I'll talk about it. Oh, what? Oh, you gonna just bring it? Yeah, bring Darius into it. Yeah, let him talk.
Canadian politics. Vote for the Conservative Party, everybody. Okay, that's a lot of ads. I don't think this is going to work. This is just ad apocalypse right now.
Darius got all these ads going on.
I think he groups all black people and black women into that category, but neither here nor there, another topic. He was being racist. And in that racism, the guys in question from the other podcast, the British Black guys, they were laughing. And we've talked about this before.
Ignore
that. That ain't it.
You guys just don't want to support them. I've even seen that tired argument from some people from within the community. Some brothers and sisters from within the community talking about, okay, all this talk about T'Challa, we need to stop. We need to be focusing on the black characters that are about to hit theaters, and that's Sam Wilson. Let me stop you when you...
Not it either. Shit. Listen, guys, just go to the 3-hour mark of Darius's live stream, and I thought I had it ready. How long were we preparing for the stream? And I didn't prep it at that moment, but Darius is going to talk about it. And Blue, if you want to take it further and put in your 2 cents about how you can't just say out of nowhere in your tweet, as a black man, Chadwick Boseman died. I say, as a black man, you think about the representation that is at stake right now. Chadwick Boseman played a character that existed before Chadwick Boseman was even born, and that character got so high and so popular that he became the best role model that has ever existed, who's got melanin in their skin, who's darker than a paper bag. There's never been a character with more better examples of intelligence, strength, not so much strength. I'm sure there's stronger characters, but intelligence.
No, strength, all of that. This is the total package.
Inspiration, like
all of that. The total package.
Uncolonized country in Africa. There's never been that character ever, and the money that it grossed, it's right now I think is the 13th highest selling movie that has ever happened in the history of cinema worldwide.
Yeah.
What? And it's in the top 10 domestically. That feat, that character, that is something special, and that's not who Chadwick Boseman is. And if you understood Chadwick Boseman and the mission of getting characters like that popular, then you as a black man would have realized there is no way we're going to use Chad as the reason as a roadblock. We're going to gatekeep this character, and we're going to cite the name invoking Chadwick Boseman of all reasons not to have this character on screen anymore. For, he just died type thing. He didn't even voice the character. He voiced.
Nah. I'm gonna say this, man, and all the black men out there, or just people in general, for them to use, if you could come back as a ghost and you find out that they're using your death as an excuse to not keep something going,
Yeah.
that's nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you basically died to build this character. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he died because of this, but Chad was going, you know what I'm saying? He died being T'Challa and wanting to see T'Challa go forward, and you are now using my death as an excuse to not go forward with the shit that I died for. That shit is bad. That shit is horrible to me. You know what I'm saying? To go back to Beau DeMayo saying, as a black man, well, supposedly you did everything for Storm. You know what I'm saying? You took your executive power and said, well, guess what? We did it anyway with Storm. But when it came to the T'Challa situation, we couldn't do that though. Like that, which one are you? Are you the executive? Are you the one making the show and having the power or not? Because that's another thing when it came to Beau DeMayo. When it was time for him to say, oh yeah, I'm the executive and I'm the one, I created the show and I'm this and I'm that, he was full on board with that. But as soon as when shit hit the fan, it was out of my hands. Which one is it, bruh? Are you the boss or not? Because like I said, a lot of this shit is you're supposed to be the boss. It's only 1 to 2 guys above you. This is your show. You are the executive producer on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you. It's only you. And what's the other? Wonder Bomb. And I think Wonder Bomb is above him on the scale. So is Wonder Bomb the guy who's stopping you from doing this stuff? You see what I'm saying?
Yep. I see what you're
What's
saying.
going on, guys? What am I hearing?
Hey, you're the one who started all this. We're actually on the tweets right now, K-Dot. Why did you even tweet that when he said that? Because he was talking about Storm and talking about this Disney allegedly told Pixar make Inside Out 2 less gay. You said, can you tell us why Black Panther was T'Chaka and not T'Challa? That was your tweet right there.
Oh, well, I'll tell y'all the reason why I put it there. Well, he was answering questions, and I was like, you know what? This is the best time to say something. It had nothing to do with what he was talking about. But hey, I got to get that opportunity in. Chill been wanting to know about it. I imagine all you guys were also curious why T'Chaka was the Black Panther. So someone got to ask, and I decided to do it. You're welcome.
and then right underneath, you wrote another one because someone started to tell you that T'Chaka is the father of T'Challa. I know that. Why do you think they wrote that? Why do you think they said that to you?
I mean, that's obvious. Look, y'all don't read Black Panther comics like that, but I know T'Chaka is T'Challa's father. Like, what did that response do to... like, what did it do for my comment? It didn't do nothing. It just said T'Chaka is the father of T'Challa. Okay, good.
Yeah. And then below that tweet, we got Beau DeMayo, and he says what he says about the loss of Boseman was heavily on the studio, as well as me as a black man. It felt too soon to do T'Challa, to put humanity before continuity. It's on you, Darius. Unmute yourself, please.
H. That planning got it.
What am I saying? What am I talking about? The bullshit humanity before continuity thing, or what are we talking about?
Well, humanity over continuity. He as a black, because he's a black man, right? Like, he had to make sure you guys knew his identity. He put that out there.
Yeah, no, it's like I said last night.
What did you say last night?
Beau picks and chooses when he wants to be black. He picks and chooses when it's appropriate, or when he finds it appropriate for him to weaponize his blackness in his arguments. Same thing he did in his in the statement where he was talking about how they were lying and how they wanted him to use his or what was, I don't know his exact words from that quote that he gave, how Marvel was treating him as a black man behind the scenes and things like that. Beau is full of shit, because if you felt like that, like I said last night, if you felt like that, if you truly felt like as a black man and that was your stance as a black man, you wouldn't have done Storm the way you did Storm. You wouldn't have done Bishop the way you did Bishop. Sunspot wouldn't have been washed the way that he was washed. And then you got on, like I said last night, you got on 4 months ago and had the nerve to tell us all that bullshit that you said about Storm, how, oh, well, I want to see a black woman be strong and a black woman be this. And as I said last night, why is it all the time that the black characters are having to be the characters that have to go through these self-discovery ass journeys and shit? And like, I'm just like, so no, I think Beau is full of shit. I saw where, K-Dot, where you said, that's why you weren't on the Beau train, hyping him up and things like that. I'm still going to give credit where credit is due as far as like his writing ability and what he gave us in season 1. But with that does not then take away what he has done.
All right, Phil, I got to get ready to bounce.
Okay.
But I had to make my little cameo. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. Darius doesn't know you're talking. That's weird. I think you canceled out his voice when you unmuted.
Really does shine a light.
Repeat that, Darius. Let me remove him. Add him back. Can you say that again, Darius? It's low. Blue, you say something?
Check. You hear me?
Yeah,
okay,
we hear you.
You can hear me now.
Yes.
You can hear me now. Yeah, sorry. It was connected to my headphones.
Just go back 30 seconds.
Yeah, so we 4 months ago, when we were all trying to figure out, all that kind of stuff, like, what is this, some type of weird mandate on T'Challa or whatever? And then 4 months ago, he said I couldn't speak to that, but now he's saying, obviously he's able to speak more candidly about it. So I think this kind of does shine a light that there is a mandate on T'Challa. I know a lot of my viewers, when they come on, they don't like hearing me say, you're not going to get another T'Challa. But when I say that, I really do mean that shit. And I just don't see it. I don't, especially if you can't get him animated, you're not getting him live action. I don't give a fuck about Avengers 5 and 6 coming. You're not getting him in live action if they're not going to do him in animation. It's not going to happen. The child, I've said this before, I'm not trying to rain on parades. The child is your future. The child is the future.
Yep. He is coming. The bastard. He coming.
In his tweets, it reminds us of something that happened with this guy named Marcel for Congress. Okay. So let me stop sharing that one and share the other screen. I'm going to just flash back because this is what Darius was bringing up a second ago. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Hit like. X-Men 97, you wanted your great Jean Grey moment. You're welcome. Marcel says, where was the Storm moment? You literally ignored her electromagnetic control, limited her to just poor gusts of wind, slickly lightning bolts, and did not give her even one pivotal moment during the finale. Your treatment of a visibly black characters, especially Storm, is unforgivable. You cannot convince me this does not come from a place of innate anti-blackness that you yourself have. So this guy went for that was big, and I don't agree with that. I don't think that's right for Marcel to say and come to that conclusion based off of the way he treated Storm. Who knows if there was some battles behind the scene that he was trying to get Storm more moments. We don't know any of that. But what did he answer with? I'm sorry you feel that way. There is more to Black power and pride than action and violence. So what he did here was he combined advocacy, Black power, and pride. Speaking of Black power, look at Darius over here holding it down.
Black power, blackout.
So T'Challa, get down.
I think he headed to the house.
I heard him say T'Challa down. His name of his dog is T'Challa, so that's what he meant.
Yeah.
When he gets back. So fucking pride. That first post with Inside Out, that was talking about making things less gay, and he conflated the gay struggle with, oh, by the way, this is how they treated Storm. Dog, black and gay are two different. You can be white and gay. You know that? Like the skin tone, colored based discrimination that we face is not the same as gay. I think that he is a victim of that mentality, that word diversity or that word inclusion is an all size fits all, one size fits all word that gay gets to sneak in and get some representation. So you can say that you're doing enough representation when you're really not doing anything based on the melanin thing, like the main fucking representation that I only care about, the one where you inherit that status from your parents, that thing that is generational. That's that's not the same as what happened in Inside Out, or as you said here in your tweet, when you were responding to Marcel, you said that there's more to Black power and pride than action and violence. Storm's journey was realizing she's more than her gifts, blah, blah, blah. He talks a lot. All right. Go ahead, Blue.
You know, what you saying that I think it's, I forgot when they started teaching, the intersectionality of gay and black.
That word was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. Once that became the word of the day, and people started running with it, that's why if you're gonna get a gay character in TV, he or she's gonna be black. And that's to take care of. I just 2 check marks. I got them both. We good. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just that, he's a victim of his own hubris. I think Beau might just be, and this is just me talking, I think Beau might just be just an asshole. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is because of the way that he's presenting this case. He's not presenting this case with what Darius don't like, which is the humanity over continuity. He's not presenting this with humanity. This shit sounds like just some asshole nature shit. This just sounds like him being an asshole.
Well, what he means, the humanity, is I care so much about the human being Chadwick Boseman, I'm putting Chadwick ahead of it. But humanity would have meant you're putting black representation and the best representative ahead of an emotional impulse that you had in 2021, 7 months after Chad had died.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm speaking to the whole situation with what's going on with him and Marvel, and then now he's coming out and saying, like a lot of this stuff. Like I said, people were sending me things on Beau and how he's responded to certain tweets, especially when it comes to like Storm or Sunspot. Sunspot seems to be a big issue that a lot of people took offense to due to the erasure of the melanin in his skin, and like you said, a big part being his dealings with his father. You know what I'm saying, and all things of that nature. A lot of people came at Beau, and the way he responded was kind of on some asshole type shit. This was back, you know what I'm saying, while the show was going on, and then just like I said, the way he's presenting it, the OnlyFans behind the paywall are you gonna tell us the truth, or are you just trying to get the money out of me? Like, I just think he's a victim of his own hubris. That's what I think. I think he knows that he's talented. I think he knows that he's great. I think he knows that you know what I'm saying, that he's a student of these comic books and things of that nature. And what he says should go, not that it will go, but it should go because I know this shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. You know this shit, but you ain't gotta be an asshole about it. You know what I'm saying?
Storm and Bishop didn't have many bits in the OG series, so why are people outraged now? That's an interesting conversation. It's an interesting conversation starter, but because he had to tell us that he's black, you would think, okay, well then where's Storm and Bishop's? Because you're so black. That Storm is, if T'Challa is number 1, Storm is number 2, and then there's a huge gap to whoever number 3 is in the history of superheroes.
Right.
So
it's popularity and stuff. I'll answer that question. I don't think people are outraged now. It's like I said, how you present the things, the questions. If you're presenting pro-black or I'm doing this look, it's a system that's against us. I'm on the inside and I'm making sure that we're represented the right way. That's why. It's not, Storm, Bishop didn't have you know what I'm saying? Bishop came in, season 3 or something like that, if I remember correctly, during that whole time travel situation. So I get it. And Bishop's not the most popular in comics anyway. He was in the 90s. He was real popular in the 90s. But so I understand that. But we're talking today, right here, right now. Storm is maybe second to Wonder Woman, female comic wise. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. And that's you know what I'm saying? That's a big maybe. She might be more popular than Wonder Woman. She might.
Everyone pick up the Storm comic book in stores in October and make sure that she has an ongoing series that does not get canceled at issue 10. It's so important to buy the Storm comic. I advise you to not even buy any other comic, pirate every other comic, and buy an additional buy extra copies of Storm. So you still give Marvel your money, you still get your comic book shop your money, but you're making sure you're voting with your dollar and making Storm viable. They want to make every black man gay to reduce our birth rates. That's a different talk. Blanket term, but no, they aren't mutually exclusive. Gay whites could have drank from all white water fountains, right? And Captain says, I want to say being autistic is not the same thing as being black or gay. And the reason why this comment is so exceptionally relevant is because Disney has something called their inclusion standards. You may have seen this before. I may have brought it up before, but every show has these. Standard A, on-screen representation. You must complete 3 out of 5. Characters 50% or more, or reoccurring written characters, come from underrepresented groups. Actors 50% or more, regular or reoccurring, came from underrepresented groups. Over here, they'll say it again: underrepresented groups, underrepresented groups, underrepresented groups. That, my friends, is not a black agenda. That is not an agenda that has room for skin tone. That means you could be handicapped. You could be left-handed. You could be somebody who's I said handicap. I said left-handed.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong.
The left-handed, because the way you're hitting it, I think is super dope. You can be left-handed. You can have a club foot. You can only see out your right eye. Your left nostril might be closed. You know what I'm saying? You might have a gap in your tooth.
Sign language because you're a deaf person. You're an underrepresented group right there, huh? What about if your religion is something else? That's an underrepresented group.
Underrepresented group.
When I say something else, I should be more specific. You're not a Christian or like the agnostic kind
One of the three major joints. I know what you're talking about.
So gay, or the way that you have intercourse or your preferences, is an underrepresented group. That blanket term is the problem that is it's like affirmative action's greatest beneficiary was white women.
Yeah,
it's that all over again. Thank you for the comment, Captain, because you made me think about that. Bigfoot Entertainment is in the building. Check out his YouTube channel. T'Challa was recasted. Yeah, T'Chaka for sure. The name I F with Chillmonger, dope, subbed. Appreciate it. Thank you for finding my channel. Why did you find my channel? Did someone retweet me on Twitter? Thank you for retweeting us on Twitter. It's man said I don't know about Wonder Woman being less popular than Storm. You didn't say less.
No, I didn't say less. I didn't say.
But Storm has been put on the back burner or underrepresented a lot in Marvel media. Wolverine and the X-Men is a prime example. Right? I'm underrepresented. Sure you are. Back to the tweets, and I hope Darius can join back. If he can't, he can't. But back to Beau DeMayo's tweets from that day. Someone said, so he said, put humanity before continuity. We touched on that. Stupidity prevailed because humanity is continuing the mission that Chadwick Boseman was on, which was elevating a superhero who happens to have dark skin, who's from a continent that is underrepresented and poorly represented. Both. That progressing is honoring him. That is humanity. You didn't put humanity over continuity. You put your emotional impulse ahead of humanity.
There you go.
It's not about continuity. It's about respect to the character. We're all sad about that, but we cannot restrain an actor to a character simply because he passed away. As I said, at the time, it didn't feel right. Just so that's kind of a bit of a pedaling back. Just a matter of respect. All right. Erasing the greatest black character ever is respectful to Chadwick. That doesn't make sense to me.
And that don't make what he said is it didn't feel right. What didn't feel right to make Black Panther? Like I don't on the movie set I can see Chadwick was there playing this character. He would have shown. I could see Chadwick walking. You know, we're here in the office. Normally, Chadwick walks in, brings donuts or whatever. I can, it don't feel right. Cool, man. We talking about making a cartoon. What are you talking about? What does Chadwick got to do with the cartoon? That don't make sense. That don't even go together. Oh, it didn't feel right. What? So now
He's wrong. He had an emotional experience months after Chadwick died. Like, do you say that on August 29th? Oh, that's one thing. Because there was a lot of that. They better not recast. How could they just dispose him? And like, yeah.
but this ain't a
Huh?
who is synonymous for T'Challa's voice as an
Keith David.
animated Keith David, right? And cool, we did. And another thing, we had Chadwick do a Black Panther, you know what I'm saying? Iteration for What If, right? Cartoon wise, or animated wise, whatever you want to call it.
That was gonna be my point. It wasn't too
They
soon.
had no right. They had no issue with that. Now it's an issue with X-Men 97. You know, I don't even know why that role would have went so far. Let me not say under the radar, but it would have came just like the way it came and went. The only reason why it was such a huge thing is because it ended up being T'Chaka. You see what I'm saying? That's the only reason why this blew up the way that it's gone and blown up is because it ended up being T'Chaka for no fucking reason. They could have like I said, he didn't even have to talk during that point. They did that on purpose. That was done purposefully.
Out of the way to diminish, and he may not even realize this, but there's like a effort to diminish the importance of this character. There's a video game right now, which we have not got confirmation that we're going to be playing as T'Challa. Use the hashtag play as T'Challa, sign that petition. And use the hashtag recast T'Challa and sign that petition on change.org. But T'Challa isn't in it. It'll be a created character, as far as we know, because not once do they use the word T'Challa in the synopsis of the game. You know, as we're talking about it, they always say, you'll be the Black Panther, never once using T'Challa. But if you look at the Iron Man game, they'll say Tony Stark's name in it. That's coming up. So, all right. Or Logan for Wolverine. The What If show came out in 2021, a year after Chad died. It's too soon for a character Chad didn't even voice, a version of T'Challa he didn't voice. It wasn't too soon. That's not true. That's not how the studio thinks. That's not how you should think. And what if they were allowed to pull episodes? Because remember, it was supposed to be 10 episodes, and there was one of those that weren't fully animated, but I think it was Gamora. But we saw in the 10th and then final episode of What If, all the multiversal Avengers showed up, and you saw like, what the hell's Gamora doing here? She didn't have an episode. It was because it was a canceled episode. Right. They can cancel things. They didn't cancel What If. You have an impossible standard, and a standard that doesn't exist. There's no precedence of T'Challa or a character, a superhero not existing anymore because somebody died. It's just a matter of respect. If it were today, I think the choice would may be different. I think the choice may be different. Either way, trying to spin it as something other than what it was makes no sense to me. And that's the video from Jake we saw earlier. I don't know why they can't understand this. You don't just replace Chadwick. You honor him and the transition to a new era with grace. So there's going to be another tweet that he did. And let me find it. It was also on the 21st. Maybe it was actually on the 22nd.
Gotta be careful with this guy, man.
It is what it is. This one where he goes, yeah, not true, which was about Jake Castorino. He says Jake Castorino was not true. That's a tweet. That's not where it is. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Shoot. Something about Joker, he said. How you doing, guys? How's your days? You still moving there, Darius?
I did want to say this, what you guys were saying about how chill. You said there's a blatant, I don't know exactly if that's what you said, but blatant mandate to get rid of T'Challa or not have T'Challa on screen, or you had just said a few seconds ago. But yeah, I wanted to just kind of piggyback on that. Yeah, I've said that many times as well. It's terrifying to them. They are terrified. What were you saying right before you talked about the video game? You said you're not going to play as T'Challa in the video game, but you said something right before that about I don't remember exactly what you said, but they're terrified of T'Challa. That is why that's why we're not seeing T'Challa. That's why we're not going to see T'Challa. It's because it's a deal and where it's like I said, in like Chad has said, honestly, you see it in sports, you see it in other avenues where white kids are wanting to be black like LeBron. White kids want to be LeBron. White kids want to be Mike. White kids want to be Kobe. But you don't ever really see white kids saying, "Oh, I want to be that black superhero." It's terrifying to them that these white kids. Yeah, it's terrifying that they want to. That scares them. That's not the narrative that they want to push. He's a household name that scares them. He is a superhero, a black superhero that cannot die. He's the king of his own nation. He has a galactic empire. He's one of the smartest minds in Marvel. That terrifies them.
And the richest people in all of what, fake history or something like that.
More than Scrooge McDuck.
The richest fake person ever to ever live. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's funny. I just mentioned your petition, and yeah, he was watching the whole time. Play as T'Challa for sure. So to this point, you beat me to it, Head Ninja. You beat me to it. This is the tweet. So it was part of the thread, about I don't know about that. So he goes, like I said, today, the decision'd likely be different. You also have to think about the crew on Wakanda Forever who were close / work with him. What they were grieving as, yeah, go ahead. Somebody inhaled. Somebody was like they were gonna say something.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't see this tweet.
You didn't see this tweet, but that tweet right there about Wakanda Forever and think about the cast. I want to stop and think about the cast, guys. Let's rewind to Comic-Con in 2019. And in 2022, my bad. In 2022, they finally revealed the trailer for Black Panther 2. They played it. Everyone cried. They put the cast and crew through the most traumatic thing you can. You will come to work daily. Not before you come to work. The script you read is going to be morbid. You're going to read about how your friend died, and it'll be all about that. And you'll be channeling these emotions at work. Every single one of these guys had a scene or multiple scenes talking about how T'Challa's dead and all that gloom. That's traumatizing. We're talking about the best thing for the cast and crew. They did the worst thing for the mental of the cast and crew. Come here and revisit this. I know he died in August. Now come on set in July and read these 11 months later. Read these lines. Bring yourself back into that emotional space. What? Who's really thinking about the cast and crew? These guys were just.
That reminds me of families of victims who have passed, and then they got to come and testify, you know what I'm saying, on courts and things like that. And they don't want to do it because they don't want to relive through that, you know what I'm saying, the trauma that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it reminds me of. That's what basically they had to do. Like relive all that because you wrote a movie about a real life death, but tried to play it off on a fictional character. That is nasty work. It's nasty work.
It's totally nasty work. And here I got the screen ready.
Guys, to find out what we found.
All these guys.
Family.
The trailer plays. All right, it's gonna have a time skip. So this is right before the trailer plays, and look as it plays. These guys are all on the right: Tena Cuarta, Dominic Thorne, all of the new actors, and then these ones on the left. Look at the reaction after the trailer plays, because we care about the cast. Letitia Wright crying. Look at Kevin. Did you see all these guys on the right having their emotional hug and how everyone was happy over here? The difference between and these guys are going through pain. Kevin over here clapping his hands, clapping. Hey guys, cut it out. Let me. Oh my God, yeah, clap, guys, be happy, everyone. What are you guys doing here? Yeah, it's happy. Good news. Let's bring up the spirits. Yeah, let me hug. Let me block Letitia Wright. Let me give you a hug. She's experiencing it. You guys' thoughts on this?
That's got to be hard, man. That's the perfect compare and contrast right there. That's the perfect example of comparing and contrasting the new people who had, you know what I'm saying, minimal dealings or no dealings with Chadwick. They were celebrating their hey, we did this movie. This is a good movie. We're seeing ourselves on this screen, doing these Marvel movies, and then you got the original cast member, and they're like, oh man, this is, you know. And that wasn't a let's do it for Lil Saint moment. That was a damn, this hurts. You know what I'm saying? That was what that type of moment was. Like, well, we got through it. You know, that was like we got through it.
Yeah.
You know?
It totally was, yeah. Wrong screen. Stop sharing, start sharing, go back to that tweet. Because I didn't even finish reading Beau's tweet, but he said, like I said, the decision would likely be different, which is nice to hear, which is good to know that in 2024, the decision would be different. But you also have to think about the crew on Wakanda Forever. And as I said, they weren't thinking about the crew on Wakanda Forever, who were close/worked with him. Fine. What if still came out? What they were grieving as humans while making Wakanda Forever. Give folks time. We did it with Ledger.
We did not do that with Ledger.
In 2008 of January, when Heath Ledger had died, Brave and the Bold came out. That was a cartoon. It was animated. And a voice actor voiced the voice of Joker.
Yep.
We did not do that with Heath Ledger.
Press, you lock me in a rubber
This
room,
exists.
and it's fits and giggles till Aunt Fanny comes home.
Also in 2009, we had a role played by Mark Hamill in Arkham Asylum in that video game a year after Heath Ledger died.
Yep.
This standard does not exist. Kevin Conroy died, and I was going to bring it up, but thank you. They had a Caped Crusader show when Kevin Conroy died. Kevin Conroy died, and the Suicide Squad game was still being developed, and he already did the voice work, so they used that for him. Posthumously, he performed in that. And Kevin Conroy, death didn't affect the constant appearances of this legendary superhero, the white one, the Caucasian one, who wears black. But yeah.
Right, because they understand, I'm sorry, they understand the ad old Hollywood slogan, the show must go on. You know what I'm saying? Like
go on.
They understand that. You go ahead, Darius. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything. I wasn't saying anything to that, or at all. I don't know who said anything. I wasn't me, but I will say this to that comment that asked why are they scared of a fictional character, or why are they terrified? Because of what that fictional character represents and what that fictional character invokes. What he what he gives off as empowering to young black men and the black community in general. The character, as I don't know if you know the history, I'm not going through it, but was created in 1966 in the Civil Rights Movement. It was the first black superhero that's not a derivative character or wasn't a sidekick. He was his very own character. So that black superhero that can hold his own and intellectually with Tony Stark and Reed Richards, who are very prominent white superheroes and beloved white superheroes. When you have a black man that is able to do that, not only do that, but also be formidable in his fighting abilities up there with some of the best in Marvel, that's not the narrative that they want to push. So that's why it scares them. That's they rather have us be your Sam Wilson sidekick. That's just
They'd rather have Sam Wilson, because as hot as he gets in this new movie in February, we all know who the real Captain America is, and you're going to be back in your little sidekick role. So there's really no damage that way. We won't have another Black Panther. Now, if they called this movie Falcon Brave New World, then we're talking. That's representation right there. They're uplifting the brand of Falcon, but they're not doing that. There's an exit strategy. Why did Beau do the cameo then? He could have just skipped over the cameo easy and not put Wakanda in X-Men 97 at all. Fucking facts. He might not notice, but there's people who work at that company who really want to drill. Yo, T'Challa isn't Premier, isn't that? He's just a Black Panther, not the Black Panther.
Right.
Making art aggressively relaxing. I should have read the name first. Sorry. Let's hear what he's got to say in his little sarcasm tone. Making art that could make you sad should probably be made illegal. That's not my point at all, and you know it. Everyone else knew it. Celebrating the wiping out of Wakanda, they grieved all the way to the bank. No, we didn't. They still released that last movie he didn't finish. Heath Ledger?
You talking about the Heath Ledger situation?
Okay. Bro, that shit was disgusting to see. I can't understand why any black person still supports Disney. If you weren't out at first, that should have been the last straw. I'm grieving Chadwick proceeds to make a movie about his real death and writes out the character in other media. They're just grieving Chadwick. People get it. Buckmeister says, I'm tired of the cast and crew excuse. Why didn't they skip it? They did traumatize them for profit. Like,
they traumatized the fans for profit. You know, they traumatized us for profit. Going to see that was, you had to sit through not one funeral but 2 funerals, and you paid for it. you paid to sit through 2 funerals.
Heath Ledger died, and that precedence does not exist of actor dies, character needs to be gone for a whole year. Not true at all.
I don't know where that precedent existed, but with this,
the show must go on is the precedence. When Balin Skull and Ray Stevenson, who plays that character in Star Wars, unfortunately died in his 50s, they will recast that character. They put out the casting according to one of those scoopers. There's casting.
Yeah, I think they did. Yep.
When Thunderbolt Ross died, William Hurt, the actor, died, they casted Harrison Ford in a quicker time than we got the announcement that Chadwick would his, you know what Kevin Feige's dumbass said. I have it right here. I have it. I used to have it.
His portrayal of T'Challa, the Black Panther, is iconic and transcends any iteration of the character in any other medium from Marvel's past. And it's for that reason that we will not recast the character.
Chad died in August 28. He did that one, I think, on December 12, I think, like 5 months later. But Harrison Ford was in right away as soon as Thunderbolt Ross died. The show must go on, as Blue just told you, is the standard. Remember when Albus Dumbledore in the Harry Potter franchise died after the second movie? Didn't they recast because the show must go on? Isn't that the thing there? Right?
That's the thing.
I believe the Fast and Furious, they were in a pickle because they were mid-filming. They filmed most of the scenes by the actor for Brian, Paul Walker. But the show must go on. They found a way to use body doubles, and they found a way to use ways to get the show going on. They didn't even kill the character.
They didn't kill the character. Kept the character. Did a nice send off for Paul. Something sentimental. You know what I'm saying? Did the basically him driving. Highway to Heaven or whatever you want to call it, but it was sentimental. It was something. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it tugged on the heartstrings, but guess what? Like you said, character didn't die. Next movie, Paul is with the kids. Come on, his sister, you know what I'm saying? Yada, yada, yada. Boom, we good to go. We explain what Paul Walker's his character is, you know what I'm saying? We good. We ain't got to worry about that no more. Unless we decide to bring him back in some type of way, we don't even have to deal with that. We don't. Bring another, like I said, the show must go on. Spartacus. I forgot the actor's name, but when he passed, he had same thing with Chad. Him and Chad, cancer. I want to say it was the same type of cancer. He passed. They brought in a new guy. You know what I'm saying? Show must go on. That didn't stop the show from being good. Didn't stop people from saying, he ain't a good Spartacus like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think Darius brought it up last night about being able to have the barbershop talk about who is the better, who is good, who's not. Being able to compare this person to that person. That doesn't negate somebody's legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they did I think let me see who Batman. All right, so let's talk Batman. Michael Keaton, right? I think Michael Keaton is dope Batman, but I myself liked how Ben Affleck portrayed Batman. That doesn't take away from Michael Keaton. Or if you like what's the other man who was in the Dark Knight trilogy? Christian Bale,
Adam West.
That's not taken away from their legacy. They all came, they all played, they did what they did. Show must go on. Another Batman. Now we got Twilight Batman. And if you like him, you like him. If you don't, you don't. But guess what? You have the opportunity to take Twilight Batman, put him up against Ben Affleck Batman, put him up against Adam West, put him up against my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was trying to get the tints. I wasn't saying anything new. Keep going.
But yeah, now you got the opportunity to do that. Spider-Man, same thing. You got the opportunity to put Andrew Garfield up against Tom Holland, up against Tobey Maguire. You know what I'm saying? You have these opportunities to do that. That's what keeps the legacy alive. That's what keeps people talking about said actor. You know what I'm saying? If imagine if Superman, right? All we got was Christopher Reeve.
Oh, Christopher Reeve, you mean that guy who DC is honoring while
Right.
recasting multiple times
While
and he
re-
died? While
Right.
Brandon Routh played his version of Superman in an 05 movie. You talking about that Christopher Reeve? Yeah.
That Christopher Reeve. Imagine if we
what?
didn't get him, and that was it. And the last movie you remember was Superman 4 with Nuclear Man. Like, you'll be like, the fuck is this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you keep a legacy alive. Hey, we fucked up on that fourth one. We got to do some, you know what I'm saying? We got to make right with this.
And I've seen so many actors like Margot Robbie say, "We're great for Lady Gaga." I've seen Henry Cavill say, "Hey, onward and upward with David Corn, so Superman gets to live on." What makes you think Chadwick Boseman is the fucking like Nance?
The exception?
Yeah, the guy who goes, how dare the character continue? How dare this comic book character resume while I'm dead? You better stop the character for me, huh? I know it's too soon.
Right.
Like 2021 is too soon. Unless I voiced it before when I was alive.
The only person who I think got a little beef is Wesley Snipes.
with Darth Vader's voice actor James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
Continue getting that through his death. It's not disrespectful that that's going to happen.
But it's been other people to voice Darth Vader.
You can voice other people with Darth Vader, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying it has been. Even though, yes, he gave his permission to use his voice, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. If they decide not to use the voice, it won't be disrespectful.
Nope.
It won't be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Lion King, right? They doing these Lion King movies and stuff like that. They got a whole different person playing Mufasa.
Isn't it the guy from Rebel Ridge, Aaron Pierre?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Back to these tweets because we're kind of going longer than. Well, I knew I was going to go an hour. If we fast forward to today, where am I? Well, let's read some of these. He's from a movie called Heart of the Hundreds, a South African actor. Chadwick wasn't a great Panther, but his portrayal in Civil War was closer than in his own movie. I've heard that one before. Ray died recently. He played Balin Skull in Ahsoka. He was the most popular character on the show, Life, and they are going to recast him in Ahsoka season 2.
I agree. I think he was the most popular character on that show.
Yeah. This was a tweet about a Reddit sub from Beau DeMayo, a subreddit, I mean. He was getting at some people who worked at Marvel Studios who were, well, he was upset with. And I completely forgot why I opened it.
How long ago was this?
It's Beau DeMayo had posted something that was on Reddit, but that it was deleted. And it was a picture. And the picture showed some people. Something you're going to want to remember as an X-Men fan. You recognize them? It's the team Marvel chose to send to the Emmys. Now be patient with me, everybody, because I am not prepared at all for this. September 13. It's going to be an article. I'm looking for an article, and I think it might come after this. No. Yeah, I mean, he might have deleted it. Shoot. Did I save the image? Nah, I didn't save. Yes, no, I didn't. Wrong image. There was like a group shot of everyone at the Emmys from X-Men 97. and he was like circling it, and he was like, "This is what Jake said to me. This is what she said to me. That he said to me." It was one of them types. But forget it. That's all of the Beau DeMayo tweets regarding Storm or Black Panther. The reason why this character wasn't in here was, according to Beau, was his choice. He thought it was too soon, but now he doesn't think it's too soon. Somewhere between 2024 and 2021, the gray air zone.
It's selective, man. It's just like Derek said. It's selective. It's all selective. It work. You know what I'm saying? When I can use it to my advantage, I will. It's all selective. Whether even the outrage of being a Chadwick Boseman fan to me is selective. You know, most people saw him in one movie, maybe two. You know what I'm saying? With that one movie being Black Panther. Now all of a sudden y'all are Chadwick Boseman fans. You know, did you go see Gods of Egypt? Did you go see him play Toss in Gods of Egypt? You know what I'm saying? Did you see him in what it was 21 Bridges? Did you go see him in 42? Did you see him in James Brown? Did you see him as Thurgood? You know what I'm saying? Did you see him in these? And he's been in some other stuff. Did you know he was in soap operas before he was big in movies? You know what I'm saying? Did you know that? Like, are you a fan, or are you just saying, "Oh, I like Chadwick," and you know what I'm saying? Like, are you really a fan, or are you not? And if you're not really a fan, then you really don't care about him being recasted or not. You just speaking a talking point that is being regurgitated by other people. You know,
So many.
Lincoln Heights. That was a good show too. I like Lincoln Heights. Message from a King when he would have had the chain walking. Yeah, that Message from a King was dope. Yep.
Anyone else? Huh? Anyone else? Who's got them? Who's got the next one? Who's got the next Chadwick Boseman filmography? They
I'm
got
telling
it.
I follow Chadwick Boseman. You know what I'm saying? I'm not now. Some things I ain't watch him in no soap opera. I just found that out. I think I found that out through like Michael B. Jordan, because Michael B. Jordan was in soap operas and he was in soap operas, and I think either Michael B. Jordan took over his role or he took over Michael B. Jordan's role. It was something like that.
Yep. You know, because he was too talkative. He was like, "What about my character's father?" And they said, "All right, Chad, we don't need you anymore. Get Michael B. in here."
Get Michael B. in. So yeah, it's like, and I'm not saying that to put anybody down, but just y'all know y'all not really invested into this the way that y'all act like y'all are. If Marvel cast a new Black Panther right now, y'all would not be all up in arms saying, "Oh, this is disrespectful to Chadwick." Y'all go watch the movie and call it a day.
Yo,
Matter of
just
fact,
talk
if
to
they
his
would have did
brother.
it the day of, if they would have came out recasted Chadwick the day of, I hate to say it, nobody would have, or it'd have been very few people vocalizing that being disrespectful. I don't think a lot of people would have been up in arms if they say we are recasting or that the show must go on, because that's the norm. You see what I'm saying? That's not being disrespectful. Like what DC is doing with Christopher Reeves right now. If they said we were recasting and we got this dope documentary that we're doing to showcase our love for Chadwick Boseman and all that he brought to the MCU and the Marvel family, come on, man. That's how you kill two birds with one stone.
Christopher Reeve gets to be honored for uplifting Superman, and we all remember him and how great he was. And Batman gets to have all these reoccurring and different versions and different conversations about how great this guy is. The Black Panther doesn't get that. He gets to be, Chadwick he was just so iconic. And is it disrespectful to Chad? Nope. Go ask his family members. You guys see what his brother said when he was asked about this question? Very, very supportive of recasting. He has no problem with it. He gets it. Why don't you guys get it? His brother.
How would you feel if they recasted T'Challa?
I would have been fine with it. Yeah, I would have been fine with it because Chad was not him and he wasn't Chad. You know, Chad was Chad. T'Challa is just a character. You know, when Christopher Reeves had the accident, they didn't stop having Supermans.
That's true.
They just got somebody else to play the role of Superman. I think that the role was far too important, and it was bigger than just one person because of the effect that it had on Black children. Yeah. Like my great nephew by marriage, from watching the first Black Panther, his aspiration was to be a scientist because he saw this brilliant, elegant, articulate Black man. And he said, I can do that too.
You can do that too.
Yep.
And there's a guy upstairs with the hat at the top office who doesn't have this guy appearing on TV shows. It doesn't look like the video games. There's going to be a video game of Captain America and Black Panther from years ago, and they even got the skin pigmentation, the wrong skin color. I don't know how someone who's that close to the equator and has never had outside interference or intercourse with another person can have skin so light, but that's Azuri in the Black Panther video game. That's the different. The skin color thing is different. The fucking character of Black Panther, as this man with the hat is working there, is not going to be appearing in anything. He's not going to be having upliftment, and they're going to hide behind Chad or Chad's family or disrespect. It's not disrespectful. It's disrespectful to kill the character. There's so many examples of people dying and their work resuming even though they are dead, like Darth Vader.
Yep.
I got the answer. Beau DeMayo is the reason why is a reason why T'Challa wasn't in the show. It was on him. It was just too soon. He was drinking the company Kool-Aid at the time. You're not in your head.
It was on him.
That's what we got.
That's the actual answer. It was on him, but that's kind of what I was saying, Chill. Like he's the guy. He's the guy. It's his show. It's his show. Those decisions are made by him. And yeah, it is Kevin Feige and, like I said, 2 other people above him, but it's his show.
Nate Moore and Brad Winderbaum and Ryan Coogler. Who's the 2 other guys?
Feige, Louis D'Esposito, and I will guess Wonderbaum. I don't know if Nate Moore has anything to do with any of this. I don't know Nate Moore's hierarchy. It's normally, I know it was always 3 people. It used to be Vittorio Alonso. It was Kevin Feige, Louis D'Esposito, Vittorio Alonso. Those were the 3. That's the 3 heads of Marvel. Now with Vittorio Alonso out, I'm guessing that Wonderbaum has probably taken her spot. You know what I'm saying? As far as being that 3rd executive. So like I said, it's him. Nate Moore was just an executive on Black Panther, that project.
And Eternals.
I don't think, and Eternals. I don't know if he's an executive in that. You know what I'm saying? He might be on the same level as Beau, or what Beau would have been on, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that level, the Beau level. I wish Marvel understood. Oh, by the way, hi Sean. Marvel understood that at this point, it feels like erasure. I don't think that's their goal at all, but it feels like that. Man, it's their goal. He's not appearing in anything. The character is not appearing in anything. And I can look at the slate for next year. He's not appearing in anything there too. Or nothing after that. I got to hold out until Secret Wars to see if they, reshuffle the universes, recreate universes, and now T'Challa is alive in this universe. That's 2027. The actor dies in 2020, and we haven't seen the character since Endgame. So from Endgame in 2019 to 2027, there will be 8 years without the most positively impactful melanated character in cinema history, in fiction, the greatest representative, the most anti-stereotype character who uplifts, empowers, who humanizes, who inspires, who we ask audiences to live through. And he happens to have, I think 30% of the audience for Black Panther was a Black audience. At least 70% of the rest of the world who could experience a good positivity with dark skin, which doesn't fucking happen. And that's what we lost out on. In X-Men 97, they belittled T'Challa by erasing T'Challa and putting T'Chaka in there. And now we know why it happened. That was the answer to the question on the live stream. I'm going to refresh Beau DeMayo's page just to see if he said anything about X-Men 97. And then if not, we're out for the day. Because he's been, saying things. But the confirmation.
Let me ask you a question, Chill. What do you think about because I did see something I think he posted it this morning about he will be putting out more information on his exclusive link, which is the OnlyFans link. What do you think about that? Like, why? Because he seems to be talking here on Twitter and then trying to redirect people there.
Yeah, it's just a business decision. What am I gonna do? Get mad at someone for a business decision? Like, I know Hollywood blacklisted you. How are you gonna make money?
But he said he's got more projects coming. I read a tweet where he said that he has
projects.
I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, what other projects does he have? I mean, I don't.
It's not with Netflix because of the Witcher thing. By the way, they recasted with Henry Cavill with Liam Hemsworth. It's not with Netflix or Disney or Warner Bros. Or Sony or Paramount. Like whoever he's doing.
I don't know. He just said He said I'm going to be talking about my future projects that I have coming up. That's what he said in the tweet that I read this morning.
Yeah, a project could be a comic book. We don't know what his future project is.
It could be a comic book. You're right.
You're absolutely right. All these actors have potential for T'Challa. Ylan Noel, Aldous Hodge, John Boyega, Damson Idris, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Oh, you're talking about Wonder Man?
Wonder Man. It's Wonder Man.
Rather than give you a black character, an actual melanated character, they'll give you a white guy. They'll cast Yahya to play him. They'll give you a white guy. And if he gets too hot, guess what? The next time we see the character, it's temporary
sideline. Yeah. They could have gave us a Brother Voodoo.
They could have done that. They could have done a lot of characters.
If they needed a black character, and that's what I don't get. I hate to say it. I don't get that. The Wonder Man pivot makes no sense, right? It just makes no sense. If you needed a black character, you got black character. You could have recasted Luke Cage for all I care. At least the audience already know Luke Cage. You already got that built in, right? You could have did a whole new Luke Cage iteration. Wonder Man and making them, you know what I'm saying? Like, who asked for that? One, that's another question. Who asked for it? And then where does this fit in? Because you're gonna say that it's horror. Why would Wonder Man be horror? What about Wonder Man is horror? I tried to go back and look at his origins in the comics and things. Nothing about that says horror. Other than, his brother being what's his name?
Yeah, I know who you mean. I just don't remember. Comic book people are in the live chat. They'll tell us.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now. But other than his brother being that, and if Agatha does well or performs well, Brother Voodoo would be a dope connection in the magic realm of things that you were putting together with Wanda, Agatha, Strange. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be a dope connection. Now you bringing me Wonder Man? And I know Wonder Man and Wanda had a little thing, but
Planet Fanatics tells us it's weird that he wants folks to pay to come here about his future endeavors. It's also strange that his OnlyFans is decorated with X-Men 97 image. How would you know? What's so strange about it now? Darius. Aggressively relaxing. Let's ready for this one. He doesn't appear in my TV except stuff that doesn't count. His newest video game we are waiting to hear more about. The comics he is in aren't good enough. Marvel sucks at this erasure thing. No, you dumb ass. You don't understand representation, or you are ignoring it. And you don't get that since the beginning of this fucking thing called a camera and motion pictures, there's been an effort to dehumanize skin and people who have darker skin. Okay? You know how, like, when the sun hits you and you live in a place where you're close to the equator, like Wakanda is, the darker skin we are. And the more north you go or the more south you go, the lighter the skin people are of the people native of that land. So that thing, which is just like a genetic, like a after effect or evolution or mutation or whatever the word is, that thing, that there's this little efficient thing that's called racism, which now allows you to judge people based on that. And unfortunately, aggressively relaxing, the darker your skin is, the less value and the worse status you have been put and seen in movies. Movies have reach. Movies can be seen by many people all over the world. And there are people who don't interact at all with people who got dark skin. But all they know from the images that they see is, oh, that's the insert stereotype here. That's that kind of person. He is not worth it. He is valueless. It is so pivotal to undo that through movies, through representation, not castings, not because that's just attendance. I'm sure you got a black guy cast in every major movie now, but in the lead role, and he's actually a good guy, and he's positive and uplifting, and white kids can look up to him as well as black kids as well. That is what I'm talking about. And him,
the stories that you're telling in the comics, like he brought up the comics. What's T'Challa in the comics as of right now? What's his significance in the comics as of right now? What is T'Challa doing to really, what I'm saying? I'll give you this. Blood Hunt was like probably the best T'Challa story we've had in a while. Okay. You know what I mean?
Disagree.
And he wasn't even it wasn't his story, it was more Blade, but I'm just saying, as far as getting a decent story involving T'Challa, that was probably the most decent storyline that we've got involving T'Challa in a long time. Because even his own book that we just got by what's her name?
Dr. Eve L. Ewing.
Yeah, Dr. Eve Ewing. She, to me, this is just me personally, she didn't necessarily do the best at telling a good T'Challa story.
But that's just subjective. Like, some people might say it's the best story ever too.
True.
But it was canceled, so that's got something to do.
Right. It was canceled.
Abomination AJ. Marvel understands, and it's their goal because they can get away with it. Disney as a whole hates black empowerment. Yeah. And they'll do substitution, and they'll take Wonder Man. He's not going to last. Take Falcon. Or take Sam. He'll call himself Cap, not Falcon. And there's these tricks that are being done to make it look like things are happening, and it's great representation. Look, Captain Marvel 2 was called The Marvels, which makes you think, oh, that means that it's Monica's movie too. Nah, the lead of that movie was most certainly Carol Danvers, and they didn't even give Monica her name, which is Photon. They just erased that scene. Marvel understands.
That was a disjustice of a movie. That was a movie that I think they should have waited. If they wanted to wait on Blade, that was a movie that they could have waited on, perfected, and made way better.
Yep. In Pixar Soul, we had a guy in Jamie Foxx who played a guy with dark skin. It was good. It was all there.
Yeah, but then they turned him into what?
Yeah. Tiana, Princess and the Frog. Well, if you're a kid and you're watching that, I want kids to spend an hour and a half with dark skin, and they didn't. They got a frog. I mean, if it was their agenda, then why did Ryan Coogler choose not to recast? I think it's right to say Ryan Coogler chose not to recast. It's also right to say this piece of fucking shit allowed for it to happen. They did not need to. They could have delayed the movie. They didn't need to stick to their little dates where they were filming 11 months after Chad died. They didn't need to make the decision.
My thing is, but I guess my question is to that is: did Ryan Coogler choose not to recast? Because we saw the meet.
He said so.
Nate Moore.
Listen to the Wakanda Forever podcast. Ryan Coogler chose not to recast. Listen to Nate Moore.
I'm saying, was it Nate Moore's decision before? That's what I'm saying. The time of events. Nate Moore having that discussion,
and it lasted minutes. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Was Ryan Coogler in that meeting?
Why wouldn't he be? Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Because I thought Nate Moore was saying I sat down with Feige and the crew, and we chose not to. And not saying that Ryan, Coogler could have already been like, "Hey, I ain't recasting," but cool, you're not recasting. To kill him off was like, I guess my question to expand my question is, who made the decision to murder because that's what it was. To murder Black Panther.
Ryan Coogler, Joe Robert Cole wrote the movie. They killed. They decided that's the way to go. I mean, if it was their agenda, why did Ryan Coogler choose not to recast? Why did Beau choose to go with T'Chaka? Black men that had the choice and they didn't choose recasting. What do you mean?
Okay, I see what they're saying. Okay, I understand now. They're saying it in a condescending manner. Like, well, if it wasn't their agenda, then why did all these things happen? So because it was their agenda. He's saying, yeah, it was their agenda because all of these things happened. They all had the power to not do so, but they did it anyway because it was their agenda.
His only comic is Ultimate Black Panther. Evel Ewing, she's a terrible feminist writer. I don't know what I've done to attract this audience. Me thinks 985. I'm not with that. She had him getting beat up by a woman and made T'Challa look like feminine. All right. Well, thanks for your input, but I don't.
What woman he got beat up by? She didn't beat him up.
Monet?
She didn't beat him. She lost.
They changed the cover because Torrin Clark said we wanted to change it to make T'Challa look more stronger because there was a picture where he was being punched by her. They were aware.
Yeah, but see, Monet lost, which I think Monet lost too easy, but Monet lost like in 2 panels, not even a full page. Monet was taken out by Black Panther. So
that's a conversation for a different time. I think we're done here with the X-Men stuff. I looked over my Twitter. We're good. Batman, Superman will continue. White characters are great and will always be relevant in our media, and that's great news. It would be one more from Sean. I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm genuinely asking that. How can we put it on Marvel when the people who had the choice were our people and those individuals wanted not to recast? As so long as this guy is in charge, all those other guys' opinions are less important than this guy's.
Yeah, they went along with it. I don't care what you say. If I'm Marvel and I just made $1.3 billion off of this character, you know what I'm saying? That would be the first time. I hate to use this word, but that's the first time in history to where a business ran by white people let a nigga make a decision like that. And I hate to use that, but think about it. $1 billion business, $1 billion Disney put their money aside, their bottom line aside for the feelings of these black people. Where does that happen at? In business. Where does that happen at?
Well, and how expendable was the T'Challa character? That they can, we'll just put the mantle on his sister and we'll make just as much money. A backup plan, we'll make a bastard little son and the T'Child will be Black Panther later on.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, we can risk it with this little character. They would never do that shit with Spider-Man. Kevin Feige would never do that shit. Should something happen with Tom Holland, they would never recast. They would recast. They would never kill the character for Miles Morales instead or something else. That's just not a true occurrence that would happen.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. You think, like you said, if something happened, if God forbid something happened to Tom Holland, they're not saying, all right, kill Peter Parker, now we're just gonna move forward with Miles Morales.
But this is the way that Ryan Coogler felt at the time. And he was too attached and he was too close to the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his opinion. Nate Moore had the same stupid ass opinion where they attached Chad to the character rather than seeing him as and maybe because they're so much older and they didn't grow up with Black Panther being a prominent like superhero and whatnot. They really just thought of Black Panther as Chadwick. Maybe that has something to do with it that they've been.
No, they got to be my age. I think
the younger you are, the more you can separate the actor from the character. The older you are and the years where the Black Panther character wasn't so popular, I think affected them. And they said, oh, they're synchronized. How do we honor Chad? Well, you love Chadwick? I love Chadwick so much that I'm going to fucking retire the jersey. He'll never show up again. Yeah. And then we'll kill the character. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. Let's make my right script.
I don't know, Jill. I'm 42.
Honor him.
I remember when Black Panther showed back up, it was, I want to say during the Marvel Knight series when he showed back up.
I'm good. I want to end the stream. I've been trying to end it.
Okay, let's end it. Yeah, let's end it.
Because that's it. Everyone who came here for what the title says, why was Black Panther T'Challa X-Men 97? You kind of got that 24 minutes ago. And we just kind of been rambling. But thanks to everyone who participated in here. I'm looking forward to a recast like the dude from Dungeons and Dragons. It's just the idea that Marvel wants to shut down this character, but just keeps getting in their own way is funny. You're stupid. You're incredibly stupid. Comics Pals, do you really think Feige wanted to recast? Dog, I don't think of Feige as this progressive, you know what I mean? Let's do representation. Wonder Man, right? Like there's too many strikes. If it would have vetoed a black man's POV on that issue, Feige would get shit on for that. Not by me. Nope. Whoever
what he's saying.
wanted...
My bad. Go ahead.
You go.
No, I was gonna say I see. Yes and no. Vetoing that and saying we're going forward. I don't think people would have shot. You know what I'm saying? If he would have said, "Hey, well, I said to recast," I don't know if he would have got shit on for that because I think Feige would have did it in a way where they would have waited. Because Feige wanted. Now Feige did say he wanted to wait.
What?
He said he wanted to wait, and he said that's why he let them make that decision. He agreed to it, but he let them make that decision. I'm gonna go get all the receipts on that. But I remember reading about Feige saying he wanted to wait, and he let Ryan Coogler and Nate Moore make that decision for him.
There's a quote that many of you were fooled by. In Entertainment Weekly, he says, "Was much too soon to recast." And I'm not screen sharing yet. There it is right there. From Kevin Feige. It says, It felt like it was much too soon to recast, Feige told Empire. Stanley always said Marvel represents the world outside your window, and we had talked about how extraordinary and fantastical as our characters are and stories are, there's a relatable human element to everything we do. The world is still processing the loss of Chad, and Ryan poured that into the story. But we didn't give a fuck about William Hurt, so he could die. Anyway, that quote was used as, you see, Marvel's changing their stance. They said it was much too soon to recast. They did that during rollout of the movie. They did that when a time where we were growing in numbers, right? We were getting louder. Everyone's learning about how T'Challa should be recast, and that was used to fucking shut you up. It was just much too soon, which made it sound like, oh, so they will recast. 2 years later, where's the recast, everybody? But it was much too soon actually doesn't contradict the statement he made in December of 2020. I'll play it again because I have it.
His portrayal of T'Challa, the Black Panther, is iconic and transcends any iteration of the character in any other medium from Marvel's past. And it's for that reason that we will not recast the character.
He doesn't say, well, now we will. He just says it was much too soon to recast. That's not a commitment to anything. And as we see the future, there is no Black Panther casting. They did it to T'Challa. There will not be recasting T'Challa. That's not in the cards. Unless enough of us can be vocal and do what happened with the Sonic movie. The trailer was so ass and they had weird eyes. And we'd voiced each other. And Paramount said, we're going to give you actual Sonic. Unless enough of us do these streams and share the shorts and share all the recast T'Challa noise, we got to do that. Because they're not recasting.
Yeah.
That saying was fucking hypnotizing, and it worked, and it quelled so many of you. It was a sedative. That's it. Yeah, let's go. RDJ. Yeah, isn't RDJ too iconic? Doesn't he can he only be linked with Iron Man? Or the standards don't make sense. The show must go on. The precedents, all that shit that we know from Hollywood. If they should have just recasted. And anyone giving him slack, Kevin Feige ignored the black creatives and the executives because they recasted. Anyone saying that doesn't understand every other example of a character continuing after the actor died, or even creative differences. If we look at what happened with the Hulk character, but the Hulk doesn't count. The Hulk doesn't count, and Rhodey doesn't count. He wasn't a main character. Everything you'll find an excuse.
They find an excuse, yeah.
It's got to be this. It's got to be specifically a black actor who was 43 years old. It's got to be specifically about a lead character. It doesn't count unless it's not in the superhero genre. James Bond doesn't count either. And the Batman thing was a different universe. But when Val Kilmer played the same Batman in the same universe as Michael Keaton and George Clooney, then that doesn't count because it was the 90s. And there's always a little caveat to why. It's stupid.
We didn't know better. It was the 90s. We didn't know.
Appreciate that. Go follow me, Chillmonger. Fuck Blues House. Pantheon over
man.
Blurred AF.
Blurred AF. We live tonight, baby. Blurred AF. Come holler at us. 8 p.m. We doing it big, man.
That's how
Come to my
you're
channel.
a stupid YouTuber, because you said 8 p.m. without saying what time zone, dumbass.
8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern. It don't matter. We're gonna be on. It could be 8 p.m. Look, come to my channel at Blues House. Blurred AF will be live 8 p.m. Eastern. Since that's for y'all Canadian folks, man. That's why y'all gotta say gotta be the time zone.
Nope. Being
know.
north of you has nothing to do with time zones.
We know. How it works. We know. We know. It's Eastern is based off of the New York time.
Based off of
not
New York.
Toronto.
It's based off of the place of where you are in the world. New York does not run around.
It ain't based off Toronto. GMT +4 GMT Eastern. Check us out at 8 p.m.
How about that? It was +5. I could have sworn it wasn't +4. It was +5.
It's +4.
One of us is wrong.
Yeah, one of us is wrong.
Who's really right, guys? Who are you gonna subscribe to, me or Blue? The only reason I did this stream with you is just to show the contrast of how intellectual I sound, how Darius sounds, who stream on Pantheon, and we stream on Thursdays, which is a much better night.
Yeah, y'all don't have no fun over there. Ain't no fun. Where the fun at? Where's the fun? We over here last Blurred AF. We having a ball. We having a ball over there. It's like it's a party. Come have a ball with us, man. They stuck up over there with the Pantheon, all stuck up, man. Them 3 talking heads just stuck up. They don't have no party.
You guys have artificial. Mika always has a stupid ass background with her little graffiti.
Look, no Mika slander at all. No, you will not be speaking ill of Mika at all.
All right, our backgrounds are more lit than your backgrounds. Look at you in a little car right now. You're in your car.
Come on. Yeah, I am in the car. I'm in the car. I'm in the car because I'm not stuck in the studio. I'll be on location. You know what I'm saying? Where you at?
What do you mean where I'm at? You know where I'm at. You can find me right here. All these stars and the biggest one right in the center.
Biggest one in the center. All right. Check us out tonight. We're doing an interview. Actually, we're doing an interview of what's my man's? I can't even think of his name right now. But we got an interview going on right now tonight. It's gonna be lit. Gonna be lit.
Bye, everyone.